From $7 to $7 billion, that's the kind of transformation we're talking about today. The Gulf states have become this incredible crucible where ordinary people have turned pocket change into business empires. And these stories are going to challenge everything you think you know about building wealth.
You know what fascinates me about these transformations? They happened in a relatively short time span. We're talking about one generation creating massive change, not centuries of inherited wealth.
Let's start with Yusuf Ali, because his story really sets the tone. Arriving in Abu Dhabi in the early 70s, he started with a small grocery shop. Today, his Lulu Group International operates over 250 hypermarkets and employs more than 65,000 people across multiple countries.
The scale of that growth is mind-boggling, and what's really interesting is how he approached expansion, not just opening stores, but building entire supply chains.
Exactly. He created this vertical integration model that basically revolutionized retail in the region. He owns everything from the farms that produce the food to the trucks that transport it. That's why Lulu Group managed to maintain stable prices even during global supply chain disruptions.
Speaking of disruptions, can we talk about Mickey Jagtiani's journey? Because that story starts with some serious setbacks.
Oh man, Jagtiani's story is incredible. Here's a guy who was driving taxis in London after dropping out of college due to family tragedies. He moves to Bahrain with just $6,000 in his pocket. And today, his landmark group operates over 2,200 stores across 20 countries.
What really strikes me about his approach is how he identified gaps in the market. Like, he saw that the Gulf needed mid-range retail options, not just luxury stores.
And that insight turned into brands like Splash, Home Center, and Max, which basically changed how middle-class families shop in the region. But you know what's even more impressive? The way he handled succession planning. His wife Renuka now leads the group, maintaining that same innovative spirit.
That kind of forward thinking seems to be a common thread. Look at how Ravi Pillai handled his setbacks.
Right. Pillai's story is fascinating because he actually failed first. His construction business in India collapsed due to labor issues, but instead of giving up, he moved to Saudi Arabia and started over with just 150 workers. Now his RP group employs over 120,000 people across multiple countries.
The timing of his move to Saudi Arabia was crucial, wasn't it? He arrived just as the kingdom was starting its major infrastructure push.
Absolutely perfect timing. And he maximized that opportunity by focusing on quality and safety standards that were ahead of their time for the region. His projects have literally shaped the skylines of major Gulf cities.
You know what really gets me? The story of PNC Menon starting with just $7 in Oman.
$7. And what's fascinating is how he leveraged his specific skill set, interior design, to build relationships with Oman's elite. He started by designing palaces and luxury hotels, building this reputation for incredible attention to detail.
And that reputation became the foundation for Soba Group, which is now this massive real estate empire across multiple countries.
Here's what's really interesting about Menon's approach. He vertically integrated everything. He set up his own manufacturing facilities for everything from glazing to metalwork, ensuring quality control at every step.
That reminds me of how Mohammed Ashraf handled the crisis with Safa Water in Qatar. How did he turn that potential disaster into an opportunity?
Now that's a masterclass in crisis management. When the 2017 Gulf crisis cut off his supply of plastic bottles, he didn't just find new suppliers, he built his own bottle manufacturing facility. That decision not only solved the immediate problem but gave him a competitive advantage in the market.
These stories really challenge the notion that you need massive capital to start something significant.
That's exactly right. What they all had in common wasn't money. It was this ability to spot opportunities and adapt quickly to challenges. They also all understood the importance of building strong local relationships and trust.
And they all seemed to grasp the importance of timing, knowing when to expand and when to consolidate.
Looking at these stories collectively, they show how the Gulf region provided this perfect environment for entrepreneurial success. The infrastructure, stability, and growth potential were all there. But these individuals had to recognize and seize those opportunities.
So what do you think this means for the next generation of entrepreneurs in the region?
Well, while the specific opportunities might be different today, maybe more in tech or renewable energy, the fundamental principles remain the same. Success still comes down to identifying needs, building trust, and creating value for communities. These stories prove that with vision and persistence, Extraordinary achievement is possible, regardless of where you start.
That's such a powerful message for anyone thinking about starting a business today.
And perhaps that's the biggest takeaway. Success isn't about your starting point, it's about what you build, who you serve, and how you grow through challenges. These entrepreneurs proved that with the right mindset and approach, you can build something truly remarkable, even if you're starting with just $7 in your pocket.